Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make two necklaces today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box, the one from March 2024. It's called Earthen Serenity. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. I'll also put a link in the description box below to the page of the Potomac Beads website where you would go to read about how both of their subscription boxes work. And it's also where you would subscribe if it's something you'd be interested in. And of course, while you're there, you can shop around on their website if you want to. They have an amazing website. It is an affiliate link, so it does help my channel out if you use the link to go over there and either subscribe or shop around on their website. I know this looks a little different than usual. I usually have all the beads in little dishes and things, but what I do is I usually string it up and get it the way I want it to be, and then take it all apart and put all the beads in little dishes. And I decided not to do that this time, make it a little easier on myself, especially since I'm making two necklaces. And plus the beads, I don't know, I imagine everybody's Czech glass mix will be different, so I don't know that you all will have the exact same beads that I do anyway. So I'll bring it up closer and show it to you, show you what I've got here before I crimp it. Other than the Czech glass mix, I used these little 4mm faceted beads that were in the box. And they didn't have a color on them, so I'm not sure exactly what it's called. It's kind of a really light tan or maybe a creamy color. I'm not sure. It's got a really pretty finish on it. When I bring it up closer, I'll bring it up so you can see it better. And I used every single one of those little 4mm beads in both these necklaces. Well, that's not true. I dropped one in the floor and I don't know where it is. But other than that, I used every single one of them. I've got it on my soft flex beading wire. It's fine, and it's 21 strand, and this is the copper color. I don't have any bronze, but copper is real close to bronze, and you won't be able to see the wire when I get done anyway. The findings that I'm using are going to be the same for both necklaces. I've got a couple of pieces of chain from my stash, a smaller piece of chain that I'm going to use as an extender, two 2x2 crimp tubes, two wire guardians, a lobster clasp, some 4mm jump rings, one 8mm jump ring, and I'm using one of the little 4mm beads there that I'm going to put on this head pin and use as a dangle on to hang off the extender chain. I also use these Miyuki 11 seed beads when I strung this up to space out the beads. These are kind of a medium brown color. And I'll be using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, both pairs of my crimping pliers, and both pairs of my cutters and my flat nose pliers. And I already used my memory wire cutters because that's what I use to cut chain. And then I have my little New Orleans shot glass that I'm going to use to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. Hold on, and I'll search through this little thing here and get my crimp tubes and wire guardians out, and then I'll come back and crimp this, and I'll show you what the beads are and everything. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my crimp tubes and wire guardians out here now, and I'm going to show you what my beads are. I've got 11 seed beads between all the beads, and I had these really pretty drop beads in my mix. So I've got 3 of those, and one of those 4mm beads that I said I would show you closer. I just really love that finish on them. They're really pretty. And then I had this brown faceted bead in my mix. I don't know, it doesn't look hardly as big as a 6mm, but it's bigger than those 4mm, so I don't know, it might be a 5mm, I'm not real sure. And then another 4mm, 3 more of the drop beads, a 4mm, a brown bead, a 4mm, 3 more of the drop beads, and I've got my drop beads all going in the same direction with the skinny part at the top. And then another 4mm, the brown bead, a 4mm, and then I have 4 of the drop beads at my focal area. I've got 4 going this way, and then I turned them around and made 4 go the other way. And then on this side I have the exact same thing. The 4mm, the brown bead, the 4mm, 3 of the drop beads, the 4mm brown bead, 4mm, 3 of the drop beads, 4mm brown bead, 4mm, and 3 of the drop beads. So that's what I've got here. So now I'm going to crimp it. So I'm going to put my crimp tube on here and my wire guardian. And I'm going to tuck in my little wire guardian. And then I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian and back into my crimp tube. Make sure my wires don't get crossed, because when I crimp it, I want both of my wires to land in their own little individual channel, and they won't do that if they're crossed. Now I'm going to take these crimping pliers and I'm going to go in that part that has the tooth. I'm going to lay the tooth on top. Squeeze. That puts each wire in its own little channel there. Now I'm going to go into this part that has, there's 3 half circles on each side there. I'm going to go in the middle one because that's the one for the 2x2 crimp tubes. I'll lay my crimp in there. Squeeze. Give it a good tight squeeze. And I didn't think that looked right. I think I somehow managed to uncrimp it. And I don't know how I do that. I do that sometimes, and if anybody can do it, it can be me. So I'm going to try crimping it again. See if I can salvage my crimp tube here. Yeah, that's worked out better. That looks better. I thought it didn't look right. Now I'm going to go in the part with the half circles, and I'm going to lay my crimp in there, and I'm going to squeeze. Give it a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to push all this down and cut it off my spool. I just usually leave it attached to the spool if I know what my design is going to be. I kind of feel like it saves the wire a little bit, saves some on the wire. Maybe I don't use hardly as much. Now I'm going to take my other crimp tube and put it on here. And take my other wire guardian. Tuck in my wire guardian. Go down the other channel of my wire guardian. Back through my crimp tube. And on this side, I like to go through a bead if I can, because it gets my hands out of the way while I'm trying to crimp, and it centers my wire guardian over that last bead. So I'm going to go through that last bead there. Now I'm going to pull my wire through, hold on to my wire guardian, and pull my wire down. I want to make sure there's no slack in my piece, but I don't want it to be too tight either, because if it's too tight it won't drape well. So I usually coil it up like that before I crimp it, and that keeps it from getting too tight, from being too tight. Now I'm going to use my crimping pliers again and go on the part with the tooth, and lay my tooth on top of my crimp tube and try to crimp it right this time. Yeah, I think that's right. You can tell by looking at it usually that when it's got that little dent in it there between the wires. Now I'm going to go in the part with the half circles again. Lay my crimp in there. Squeeze. Give it a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. So that's the crimping part all done. Now hold on, I'll get my findings to put on and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my findings here now, and I'm going to put this together. I've got, this came after I crimped it and everything, this came to about 13.5 inches. And these little pieces of chain are about 2.5 inches each. And I've got some 4mm jump rings here. And I'm going to take a jump ring. And open it up. Put my chain on here. And put one side of my necklace on. Close my jump ring back. Make sure to get it closed back really well. Now I'm going to do that on this other side. I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. Open it up. Put my chain on here. The other side of my necklace. Close my jump ring back really well. Now I'm going to go down here and take another 4mm jump ring. And put this end of my chain on with my lobster clasp. Close my jump ring back really well. Now I've got an 8mm jump ring for my lobster to clasp onto that I'm going to put on this side. And I've got a little piece of extender chain here. It's about 3/4 of an inch long. Close my jump ring back really well. Now I'm going to take my head pin and my little 4mm bead. I'm going to take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle. Guess I'll zoom in a little bit here. Take my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. I'm going to bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the pliers. I'm going to kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. And that usually stands this little piece of wire almost straight up. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down a little bit. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Make sure to get that first wrapping under the bottom of the loop, not over the top of the bottom of the loop. I'm just going to wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, and I use a different pair of cutters for head pins and eye pins and craft wire than I do for the bead stringing wire. I'm going to cut off this extra wire. I think I am. Yeah, there we go. Those head pins are pretty stiff, a little bit harder to cut them. Now I'm going to take these crimping pliers, and I use the little half circles on each end to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire. And now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and open the end of this extender chain. And then I'm going to thread on my little dangle that I've made here. Close my extender, my link on my extender chain back. So that's one necklace done. So hold on, I'll get the other one and show you what the beads are on it, and I'll be back. Okay, this is my other necklace that I've got strung up here. And I've got the same 4mm faceted beads. I've got, of course, 11/0 seed beads between all the beads. I've got 3 of the 4mm beads. I've got 3 of these sort of white, clear. Some of them are more clear, some of them are more clear, and some of them are more opaque. But I've got 3 of those, 3 more of the 4mm, 3 more of the clear, 3 more of the 4mm, 3 more of the clear, 3 more of the 4mm, 1 clear, 3 4mm, and then for the focal part here I've got 7 of these flat white beads that were in my mix, and they've got that pretty finish on the side of them there. I don't know what it is, but it's really pretty. And then on this side I've got the same thing. I've got 3 4mm, 1 clear bead, 3 4mm, 3 of the clear or white beads, 3 4mm, 3 of the clear beads, 3 4mm, 3 clear beads, and 3 4mm. So that's what I've got for this necklace. So I'm just going to crimp it just like I did that one and put the findings on it just like I did that one. And then when I get done, I'll come back and I'll tell you what the measurements were after I get it crimped and how long my chain is and everything. So when I get all this done, I'll be back. Okay, there's both my necklaces made with almost entirely with beads from the Czech glass mix that came in the box, except for these little 4mm faceted beads that came in the box. This one came after I got it crimped and everything. It came to about 15 inches, and the chain is about 2 inches each that I used on the back of it there. And I still have this much of the mix left. So I got 2 necklaces out of it, and I still have a whole lot of it left. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box below to the page of the Potomac Beads website where you can go and read about how both of the subscriptions work and where you would subscribe if it's something that you're interested in. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.